Yeah, with Agent Slayer, I think those questions are going to get answered. Gentlemate's not changing anything up.
Well, Navi said we're seeing a Sky on Abyss, which is a bit surprising to me. Usually you want to Sova on this map with that tail, so I'm curious to see what this Sky pick is about. Traditionally, you're going to see the Sova because the drone is so impactful, the recon is such like a long-range map that long-range utility makes a lot more sense to me. So my eyes are all on that Sky.
Yeah, I think so. I think that this Astra Omen is something that we're seeing quite a lot throughout Kickoff as well on a variation of maps, which I know many you've already highlighted you've not been the biggest fan of.
Sorry, and a Raze? I didn't even realize he's playing Raze on Abyss. Okay, I'm hyper-focused on that Raze and Sky. Like, both agents are not played on this map very much because it's such a wide, big map. Raze and Sky are usually a Sova, Jet, Waylay, Yoru, those kind of champions. So I'm going to really... Champions, I'm sorry.
Agents. No one even noticed.
So I'm going to be focused on that this game. What is the value Navi think they're getting from these agents? Yep, agents.
What is the value that the casters potentially think that they could be getting off these agents? Because we're ready to head into our first game of today with our casters, Mitch and Tom.
Well, Tom, quite the matchup for us today. Gentlemates are on a bit of a hot streak, facing off against Navi, who, seeing Xiao IGL, seeing Filu look okay down on that stage, this is a great sign for what Navi have ahead of them this year. But this is a big hurdle now. Mates are coming in today hot to the touch.
Yeah, for sure. Like, to be honest, the main thing for me coming in today, I just wanted to know what agent hero would be playing to make it the champions.
There we go. Okay, well, you've got your answers. You've got your answers, perhaps. As we come into this one, we're going to start out on Abyss, Gentlemate's map pick. We go to Bind, the choice of Navi, and finish it out on Split. One that I would be excited to see if we do get another glimpse of Navi on that map. They had a very strong matchup against Heretics. I think a lot of people went back to see how that one unfolded. For Navi, a start on the defensive side. That's where they've decided to kick this one off. And I suppose what's interesting coming in, the fact that you have Filu on that duelist, but very different identities when you look at the other side with Gentlemates coming in on that double dive that we've seen be so impressive from so many different teams. Obviously DRX, I think, are the ones drawing my mind's eye first, but it's such a difficult composition to deal with.
Direct hit, looking to come in, almost looking like a retake setup from the side of Navi. Just using a little bit of util to try and delay, allow them to buy time for that rotation back towards this side of the map. But with that potential of the double initiator, get the sort of reveals burst back in. And well, that's worked wonderfully. Already finding one off the back of the drone. Filu will kick things off, the first kill found, but the time's slightly ticking. They now need to get a move on back into the site, and they have been delayed by mates.
Some of these kills could be so easy with players tagged very low, but dropping out of heaven makes a very difficult retake. So they send 3 of those players towards the spawn. Now 4 to burst on Drew, but Mini and Bipple, good to find those kills to start with. Mini delivers a triple to put mates 1-0 in the lead.
Yeah, last time they played this map, Mini was an absolute menace, especially on the defensive side. On the defensive side, he was unstoppable. He was playing retake solo and winning like 1v4s while his teammates were still alive. Like, this map just seems to sing true. And it's genuinely making me believe that the Brimstone might be a good choice. And I'm not necessarily sure that it's like an insane meta pick. I just think it works for him.
Yeah, yeah. You really can't argue with the stats, can you? A man like Mini, coming into this year, IGLing roll off his shoulders. He's been unleashed, and to be honest, he was unleashed even when he was on the IGL, so even more scary.
Also, Starzo was saying that he is doing some of the calling, like he's secondary calling, like he'll give some mid-round tips. So it's not like he's just gone, right, hands off the wheel, I'm just going to frag now. He's still inputting while putting up these numbers at the same time. So definitely been a joy to watch thus far. I want to also give a little bit of context for people watching in this series. You might think, okay, this just takes you to the upper bracket in that first matchup, like still a long, long way to go. Whoever wins today, both games, they go into that first best of 5. If they lose that, they go into the second best of 5, and if they lose that, they go into the third. So basically, winning today gives you 3 chances to make it to Santiago. Like, that is a massive opportunity, especially when you look at the teams that are here. Like, you don't have Fnatic up there. You don't have teams that made it, like Liquid, all the way through last year. Like, these are opportunities. Heretics came into the year. People had high expectations. And for Navi and Mates, they're a team that you kind of look at and go, well, they haven't been there for a while. Mates weren't even close. If they could be one of the teams that gets 3 bites at the cherry,
30 seconds left.
They're going to be over the moon.
This one looks a little shaky from Starzo, but it was all a ruse. The recon sent towards B, the wide swing
This is a lot.
with the ghost in hand, and then the plant on the A side. So mates have a lot of control now. With Navi having rotated over to B, stacking up in these kind of rounds as expected. That's exactly what Starzo was trying to bait out of them. And now all they have to do is hold off against a retake that has practically nothing to it. There is some utility still. Could easily see, well, the flash going out, not quite through a smoke. And because of that, they're very easily able to take them on those ranged fights. Some damage already done. And with Martin going down, the chances of winning, very slim. But all they want to do is make this more costly. Drop some more weapons.
They're too low to go anywhere near it.
But in the end, yeah, they will be denied just the molly that stops it. Mates, 3 players down, though. It looked like it was going to be a lot cleaner after a 4v5 post plan.
Yeah, I think also they realized at the end, it's like, okay, the guy that's there is Mini. He got quite a few kills in the last round. If we let him kill us, he's going to be like one off his ult.
Yeah.
So we just have to hide in the corner. There's no chance of us winning. It was nice for Martin to get a few extra kills. Obviously, anything you can do to get towards the dimensional drift is going to hold high value. But this is where they get onto the board. And on the other side of things, obviously, Hero has been the major talking point so far. Rooksik, one of the best controllers of the year last year, but Hero had his ups and downs. Maybe the downs at the beginning of the year and then grew into it. He's coming hot.
Yeah, well, very much. He was like a planted seed. When he eventually sprouted, yeah, it was beautiful to watch. Mates losing Martin early, but getting that distance trade thanks to the smoke up close. Xiao's got himself an angle, hasn't been revealed just yet. When he strikes, essential that he got at least one more, but a triple, well, that's certainly going to do it. Mates again having to climb back into this round, but a man like Mini's reliable in these moments. That's a pick, and the spike back potentially under their control. Oh, he almost got a haircut there. And Hero's thinking about spraying through. It's going to cost him a lot of HP. The sliver left indeed on everybody. 2, 5, and 26. Narrow margins will decide this round. But Hero's got 2 opponents to find and one waiting on the other side of the smoke. He still catches him, but he can't make it out. And 2 HP decides the round. Mates up to 3.
It's just, it's madness that he's just gone straight back to what he was doing last week. It was a great start from Xiao, managing to get multiple openers, but then it did become a little bit disjointed. Like they had the use of the salvos to try and force a fight, but it's Filu fighting alone. Then it's the risk, okay, I've got surprise factor, I'm running through the molly. I'll fight Mini alone. Don't fight Mini alone. Unless it's the other Mini. If it's, don't fight that Mini alone.
I think Mini,
you could take, I think most people could take.
I don't know. I think Mini's got that switch that you flip and he just goes savage mode.
The dog in him?
I think he does. I think he'd take your ear off. That's the kind of guy I think he is.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
If he could reach. But 3-0 to start this one off for Navi. It's been a bit of a shaky start, but they've had damage, they've had chances. And on this low buy, not a lot of chances. The decoys sold Xiao down the river. And here we go into a 5v4. Early retake attempt. There's a lot of players close by. Flash going to pop out, but they dodged it. And now it's a clean up for the most part.
Last player standing.
Okay.
Got there in the end.
Let's settle down.
You tell him.
Cover going out.
Back in his trusty controller. We've seen him switch up roles here and there, but this is where he's always done his best work. Not an easy one to take, but the first fight comes for free. The next 2, not going to be as isolated. Sat far back. And well, even a molly. Like Mini taking this one nice and safe until he swings and fights him anyway. It seemed a bit pointless, but hey, when you're not missing a shot, I can't blame you.
Time was low enough, I suppose, especially with the molly on it. A 4-0 start.
He's
Lights
8-1
out from the attack side, and yeah, it's no surprise when you got a man like Mini 8-1. When you got Xiao delivering on the other side, but not...
What was Bippo? He just tries to run through a salvo and gets killed.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. To be honest, this is the point where you see a pause a lot of the time come out, but Navi clearly, Angels hearing the right things being said by Xiao as they gear up for this round number 5. Another full buy. A loss here, I would be flabbergasted if a pause doesn't come through. I mean, this is the side that they chose to start on, and unless the idea was for Navi to get the worst side out of the way first, then we're going to need to see rounds on the board pretty soon.
Once again. pressure being put in on this B side of the map. In fact, Navi already have the info. They've sent the drones through A. They know that this is where the pressure is for the most part. It doesn't seem to matter though. Xiao, who's been the sort of savior of the site at times, Sociable does well, but Mini's killed his teammate in the meantime. But from behind, he will go down. Puts us back into a 3v3, but a post plant and some fairly aggressive positioning. Do they expect two players to be this close? The answers seem like a no, but the trades are good enough. Left all onto the leader. Starzo to try and clutch out again. You've seen that backline cleared with the Armageddon. And even the utility used up close. A wonderful clear. They had the idea, and Navi are now on the board.
God, that was essential, especially with the fact that, you know, I think most teams would start to think he's gone towards main, he's playing that post plant, but realizing there were two players up close, what are the chances that he's separated completely? You know, maybe he could be flank watch, but in this instance, that paranoia saved the day. Any opportunity for Starzo shut down. And finally, we do get that win on the board for Navi. Good reactions across the board as well, slowing down the fight that was going, wrapping through mid to the B site. And then re-aggressing from mid to catch Mini backing off. They had two players ready to fight towards the spawn, backing off that B site and taking the fight to mid. I think they did everything right there. And, well, they get their round for it.
And with how close some of these rounds have been, the purchase coming up from 8 actually isn't great. Normally when you win 4 rounds in a row, including a couple of low buys, you expect the cash to be stacked. Even still though, a couple of high impact ults. Convergence path just picked up. The orbital strike was always there.
The pressure's put onto Ruxic. He's inside a smoke now, a safe haven to play from, but will be caught. Martine, Bippo showing up on this site. The spike's being dropped. Look at the position of Glyph. He is on the other side of the map, playing this with a pistol. That's going to be a super late lurk, possibly even a plan towards the B side with that position. I mean, the world is mate's oyster right now. Navi have no real info to play with. The only danger here is that there could be a mid push, right? So if Bippo runs back with the spike, he gets dropped and the round is in disarray. Instead, they're going to wait for Glyph to make a move, but it looks like he's just been seen.
Yeah, I think that was just a smart check from Xiao, like wondering why there hasn't been a plant. Like it's been too long. Something must be going on. Now gives them an opportunity. They've also pinged that somebody's in the spawn. They've got this wrong. They're going to go aggressive that way instead and find absolutely nothing for it. And are being wrapped on. Xiao on the flank, still not getting the plant, and Spike has been dropped. I think mates have overcooked this one, overthought what is going on. And because of that, they've given away back into the round a chance to fight for Martine, and now Glyph still only with a pistol. He will fall as well. Navi recover, but I kind of feel like that was more mate's mistake.
For sure, mates made a mistake. Xiao was so quick to pounce on it as well. That ult being sent through to the spawn immediately signaled. Not only do they think we're there, but they're guessing that we're there. They're going to act on it. They're going to push through. They're going to burst through to crunch.
Oh, it's just an arm.
And in that moment, Xiao steps in. As they're crunching towards the spawn, retakes the site. Bippo steps out thinking, oh, well, now we can plan for spawn. It's safe. Cool. But Xiao already cleared in that space, filled it in like water, and now Navi with a second. Nice recovery early on. Not letting mates run away with this as it seemed like they might. When we're just going into round number 5. This aggression. It's a different face from Navi. 3 players sent down early towards B. The entirety of the attack side is waiting around that corner. Minus Mini now, and the showstopper's gonna find nothing! Sociable clean them up first! A gorgeous round from Navi, and in-zone flawless. Now just one behind.
Yeah, I don't think he'll mind too much. The fact that they come out with a very clean round, a chance to build up the economy. That was sort of what I mentioned with mates, is that they were winning rounds, but they weren't able to sort of get the finances alongside it. For Navi, they are. And they also have other ults that are cycling up. They'll be back in play very, very soon. For mates, much more of a problem. Back to pistols, a few stingers. Expecting this to be a much faster hit with the weaponry that they've got, but if they can get into a post plant, Mitch, they do have a lot of utility that could make things very, very awkward for their opponents.
Yeah, you know, obviously Navi have good util for getting out of smokes, fighting back in, Seekers for sociable, but mates, the chance to run that clock down with the orbital strike for Bippo opening onto Hero. Orbital strike's gonna get them in. They're feeling like this could be their round. Good spam. Ruxic down to 31, dodging bullets by a hair's width, and Martine will meet him on the other side of that smoke. Somehow, this turns out to be a convincing round for Gentlemates. with Xiao left alive, nothing to do. Seekers were even used up by NAVI there. I mean, an investment from them and nothing to show for it. A thrifty in-zone flawless. Take your pick.
Yeah, that was just impressive stuff. And again, it seemed like throughout the entirety of it, they just had the read, like where their opponents have been playing. I think that there's been multiple times that heroes dropped out of heaven after the initial push, so immediately knowing there's someone there. And then they're all just spamming that smoke. There has been Ruxic playing around the top site, around those angles, but they put the orbital strike on top site. So there's only one place left he can be. That's just them picking apart the defense of NAVI. And it's something that's been wonderful to watch for mates, because you come into the year, you go, okay, there's a lot of variables within this team that we don't really know about. Like, okay, is Starzo going to be a high-level IGL? Are some of these players actually going to perform to that high level? And what we're witnessing is that, at least on the leadership part, at least on their reads, it seems like they are fantastic. And this kind of visualizes what I was talking about earlier on, Mitch, with how these teams, in terms of getting into that final, or one of the 3 finals by winning this game, it would be some of the best performances we've seen from either of these organizations for quite a long time. Obviously, for mates, it would be a massive turnaround. I think no matter what happens from here on out, this is already their best finish at an event. For NAVI, for a while, they were a roster that was making quite a few events, but that fell off quite heavily over the last couple of years. And this sets a very good opportunity with some of the quote-unquote big teams now looking quite a bit weaker than them.
You know, I think the most striking visual down on that stage for me, though, Tom, was Filu's monitor. I mean, I don't know what's going on there, but my guy's got it tilted at like a 15-degree angle. I mean, it is not level. It is so far from level. I'm surprised it's not vertical. But to each their own. Might play with his head tilted a bit. Who knows? I always thought it was important to have it dead straight, but I'll put my measurement devices away at home. 5-3, round 9 kicking off, and NAVI pushing up in A main, now running into a lot of numbers on that other side. Bimbo quick to hit the hinder, but they will flash right back. NAVI dumping utility to contest for that space, but their cross back is being watched, it's being spammed, damage done, but no picks just yet. Mate's not finding the reward, but this wraparound from Martine, well, there it is. Those players cleaned up in the end, and Mates will have themselves that A site.
I love the Starzo decided to just keep the stinger into this round.
Planted.
Happy to use the SMG, and well, again, they make this very direct take into the site work, but that, as you mentioned, that small variable, that flank, that bit of positioning from Martine was enough to just rip this apart, because NAVI, they directly tried to counter the A take. It's what's been causing them so many issues over the last couple of rounds. And just having a player get in behind has completely turned the round on his head.
As you would expect, really, but something that NAVI are going to have to think about. You know, they take that timeout, they take a moment to think, and that's the round that you get disrupted massively. Really not where you want to see those gaps. And for Mates, still throw out those ideas. I don't mind it, though, because NAVI had the success going down on B main. The showstopper, sure, was involved in that play. Didn't really do anything because they'd cleaned it up on the gunfight. So late round here, minute left. Let's get aggressive. Let's take that fight, but or minute 20. But yeah, you can't really let Martine thread the needle like that.
No. And as I said, it's that little bit of variation that Mates throw into what always seems like the same play. It's like, oh, they're doing that execute again. No, they're not. They're not. There's something else that they've sort of added that extra little bit of spice. Again, credit to their leader, but also I think you have to give a lot of credit to Paco and Kundi because the way that this team has been playing for such a new squad, I dare say, I think they've been my favorite team to watch so far throughout all of the games I've seen.
Yeah. I don't think that's too left field of a call. At the start of the year, I would have had different things to say, but the games that we've seen have been impressive. Minute 15 on the clock. NAVI's aggression this time, not on the extremities. It's down here on mid. Sociable's tucked in that corner, but Mini's just spotted him. Sociable able to take his head off, though. And now the attackers worried about that mid space. No ground to work off the back of that pick either, and missing their Brimstone. Well, I think more importantly, missing their Mini.
Yeah, I think that saying missing the Brimstone doesn't quite do him justice. Martine selling the ruse on this side of the map. They've even got the Hunter's Fury as like a bit of a ruse, and this fake is working wonders. In fact, the fake has just taken the entire site. You almost have to question now, like, do we go back? He's just kind of killed everyone. I don't think you expect the guy to go into the site 1v3. Okay, he had a Hunter's Fury, and then just kill the entire Na'Vi squad. But it did technically work as a fake. He did pull the other 2 players away from the site.
Yeah, so a very good fake, you could say.
Some would say better than the actual hit.
Last player standing.
Especially if he could just keep going like this. Bippo is not going to take the time to allow his teammate to get the ace. But honestly, the way he just played that round, I'd say it's better than an ace. That was very impressive.
That's an accolade worth more. Solo triple entering a site while the rest of your team is, I mean, the closest players in spawn. Look at this.
He was just like, where do I go?
Ruxik just looking for a way out, and he couldn't find one. Really nice round from Martin. 13-7. And it has to be said, Martin, a player that we have seen reach very high heights.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, looking at the last, even kind of last year, the last half of last year as well, I expect so much more from him. I haven't seen that same level hit. But this map here, oh yeah. Enemy down. We're eclipsing it.
Yeah. At his best, I think you look at him, especially with the tech he has on Yoru. I think going into this meta with Yoru still being incredibly strong, it suits him massively. And I think if you're a KC fan right now, look away, because he's performing exactly how you would have wanted him to last year. And this new environment clearly bringing a fresh feeling. Oh, Xiao is stunned up, but they're going to give him an opportunity, taking a lot of damage on the way, hoping he'll get a chance to shoot the judge, and he does. Takes one. But you look at the rest of the weaponry, and there's not a whole lot to play with. Paranoia is good, and actually, Ruxik has done well.
Oh, the swing from Martin's so important. Remember, Starzo down to 2 body shots from those Sheriffs as well, thanks to the damage done moments ago. And with mates deciding to flee the coup, go away from this A site, take it all the way to the B site, there could be weapons retrieved. Yeah. And in fact, there already is on the sociable, you can see, and there's another for Hero. So now this 3 versus 2, even more favorable for the defense.
Just gotta look at Glyph's position.
He's heard them all.
He's gonna hear the steps. He's still looking back in the other direction, but even still, are they gonna check this? They might do. It's all gonna come down to timing. And look, Ruxik has just checked the angle. Hero is still watching it. He's still holding it, and that's so integral. That changes the round and leaves it all onto Starzo. First goes his way, but the operator might not be what you want. A missed shot. He's got to go back, and unfortunately, well, he took one with him, but he had to be forced into the angle of Hero. It will be a 4th just about for the side of NAVI, but a nice attempt there coming out from Starzo.
Oh, a really nice attempt, but it comes down to taking all of the kills and the ult forcing you into the open, your backup weapon being a shorty. In that position, he didn't have much of a chance. You can see the giggle shows that, but an ult not online there, and that's a different game we're looking at altogether. 7-4. So the barriers go up one more time in this half, and up in the hands of Filu here on the defensive side, positioned early towards A main. Probably going to look for some aggression, and although he's not going to spot anyone, that information alone could be invaluable. They can get that early rotate, as we can see mates are already gearing up for this B-side hit.
Cover going out.
Ruxik and Hero. Not the duo you'd want to be facing into, but have been dealt with for the majority of this game so far. Ruxik's going to manage to get up top, but it's Hero that's been sold down the river. Does he manage to get much from it, though? There's a first. Another teammate has gone down. They now know where he is. Ruxik just trying to back out of there. Hold at least a little bit of ground. Give himself a fair fight, and it's not pretty. Starzo will take him out with little to no problem, and the remaining 2 are just a bit far away.
Spike planted.
Oh, Hunter's Fury is going to be thrown through early. Looking to seal the deal on that 8-4 half for mates. Starzo doesn't get his tags, and the AWP patiently waiting, but for how long? There's the stun in the Gravwell that gets him the first. The shot from Filu onto Starzo with Mini down. It's all on Glyph. He's popped the smoke, but they suspect it. Stars online, 1 to work with. And this Gravwell still to play with. They'll think about that. They'll imagine he's playing towards main, running the clock down, but Glyph running it down on top of them. He's taking the fight, CQB, but he won't get the kills. Xiao off the defuse just in time to lock in 7-5 at the half.
God, a nice attempt, but an incredible 2 versus 4 there. It looked like that was a done deal for an 8-4 half, but they will steal the final round back and at least make this one a little bit interesting. We'll find out how it goes after the break.
Hey!
Hey, Tom.
Alberto was looking for you, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, you better get that
Okay,
quick.
I'll go check.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Tom Biz. You've had your fun. It's my turn.
I don't have any expectations going for kickoff, you know. I feel like as a team, we're quite ready. We're all of us, like we're doing all we can to play the best. So we're just all here to do our job, you know. We'll just make sure to play as good as we can, get the experience, and hopefully make it as far as we can.
Where is my camera? Here.
I mean, Stark, so he's a very energetic person, you know. He's bringing a funny mood for sure, you know. And he also like step up when it's needed, you know. He makes the job as a captain, so it's very important, I think. And yeah, the others, I think overall we're kind of funny team. Like a lot of us are like a little bit extrovert, you know, so we like to talk a lot, especially me and Stark. So yeah, for sure there are gonna be some funny clips coming.
First half saw mates hit 7, leading by 2, and it's Martin leading the charge. Great to see him filling those boots that we've seen him in before. We know that this guy has a high ceiling, just got to reach it.
Yeah, for sure. I think this was the half in their prior game versus Foot where Mini just became, he was final boss. Like, there was just nothing that could be done to kill him. He was running around the map just taking names. So I want to see what they've got on the Na'Vi side, because realistically, Xiao's had a great half. Like, I think he had moments like holding the site, but even in the retakes towards the end. And it's been a little bit quiet from Ruxic in particular. Like, we talk about this guy as one of the best when it comes to that role of controller. Now, going into the attack, I like the sort of addition of a second initiator when you're playing up against these double smokes. A lot of the time, I think the Sky is going to need to, you're going to need to push through this utility, because otherwise Mini will just burn out the time.
Oh, Martin! Oh, we talked about him. Said he was on fire, and he's doing just the same shenanigans here in the first half. An immediate headshot from the Sheriff. Although Navi are picking up the pace towards the A site, Martin's already here alongside Mini. Looking for that fight around the back as they wrap in. They find him waiting yet again around every corner. This man haunts their dreams, turning them to nightmares. He's in the smoke, hiding, biding his time. They're coming towards him. An ace on the cards, but he's out of ammo. Caught reloading. Starzo saves him, and Bippo closes the deal. An in-zone flawless in the pistol round for mates, and Martin keeps on putting up numbers at just a ridiculous level we haven't seen from him for so long. Refreshing.
I think whatever the morning routine was today, stick to it. Stick to it. Keep doing what you're doing, because this has just been insane. Like, when we talk about like this Na'Vi roster, at least I would say 3 of these players are very, very high up on that individual skill level. I think you're looking at your Hero, your Ruxic, and your Sociable. Like, these are guys that you don't out-aim, and sometimes they can just rip apart even the best of the best teams. Right now, Martin has been the best player of the server, and I don't think it's particularly arguable.
No, there's not much of a debate to be had there. Good thing for Navi, they're going towards the site that doesn't have Martin. So that's at least a strong start, except now it does have Martin. He just took a gate crash, cleared out all of B main, and is in position for this mid or A fight. But Navi, they take the orb, give it a little bit of presence, and move in the other direction. Mates have already adjusted, though, with the rotate from Glyph back to that B site.
Yeah, unfortunately, because that was such a, well, it was a flawless round, they don't really have many orbs to start with. So, like, you're looking at Filu pick up the orb, and it's like, great, I now have 2 orbs. One of them from dying. So it's all about any amount of damage they can do. It's already got a little bit awkward for Bippo, who is incredibly low on HP and actually has to run back across the site. The chance for a plant, not impossible, but there are a few players here. A decent position as well from Xiao. I don't know how he gets here. I guess just runs past some of the players on the site, and now Hero's managed to find one as well. It's just starting to get pretty dangerous for mates.
Spike planted.
They've still got to deal with Martin, though.
Filo has a gun.
He's looking for this fight. He knows there's a player stuck on that box. The man with the gun. His position is known. And look at Hero wrapping around that smoke. He looked like he wanted to fight, but it was Filu. He was out for the brawl. Martin with another. But it's Hero now, 65 HP. No info. Gatecrash taken. He's right in front of Hero. And he almost got a shot off. Oh, that could have been disastrous. But a thrifty round win for NAVI gets them right back into the swing of things.
And that one's got to be infuriating. Like, they basically went in with absolutely nothing. Do some initial damage, but I think like Xiao managing to get into the backlines like this, it just don't know how that happened. And then just some jumping right-click classics that gift over weapons. That's a brutal round for mates to lose. A chance for them to extend into the second half has been cut short and leaves Navi with a lot of credits to play with going into this, and also their opponents with nothing.
Well, that's the problem, right? You've got Navi hot on their heels now. 2 rounds already, closing the gap, but the fact that we should see that down to 1. Stranger things have happened, but for mates, 2 sheriffs and a shorty, they would have to get very lucky to get out of here, even with a decent amount of damage. It all comes down to what site Navi hit. You can see that the B site stacked up. Mates have got plenty of players there if there's some aggression, but if this hit comes in on the other side of the map, Mini's got a classic over there. I do see some players shift in this direction, although I imagine that this is just take the orbs while they can't fight.
Yeah, Navi taking things slow. Expecting some sort of elaborate ruse in this round. Or maybe they're just trying to figure out where Martin is. That's also a good strat. Just find where he is and go the other way. Unfortunately for them, he can switch up his position fairly easily. Well, looks like Mini's going to be left with an impossible task. The goal, just play smokes, delay as much as possible. The second he sees some util, maybe he'll try getting the molly into play, but I don't think that's going to happen now. Now the rotation coming in, Xiao is just holding the line. But Mini, he almost manages a kill, but I think almost is all they're going to get.
I mean, it certainly looks like that. Gravity going to close this round out and put another on the board for Navi. An in-zone flawless, a money maker round for this squad, losing the pistol and then fighting right back into a 1-round deficit. It's about as well as it could have went, and looking pretty strong, even in the round where they had classics. Their positioning was solid. They were winning a lot of heads-up duels, using their utility to section off every fight. Mates are in trouble. And if they lose this round, they certainly won't be in the lead anymore. Navi should run away with things. And even if they do, if they lose this round, it's got to be this one and the next one seeing a lot of impact. It has to be close. Otherwise, like, look at that economy already for the attackers. They're coming in with like 4K plus on most players.
Yeah, also ult's not too far away either. Definitely a lot closer. It's only Martin on the other side that could get that dimensional drift online. Early drone usage. I think this is a gap that clearly Navi are looking to exploit. Like with having those double controllers constantly slowing the pushes on direct hits, middle is going to be so important for their play. And well, it's a bit of a wild spray from Glyph, but it gets the job done. The direction of the salvos is going to give them an idea of where these players actually are. So that's not too bad information on the other side, and it was hoping to try and catch him on the exit. Martin, it's not worked out though. Heroes predicted it.
It is a very audacious angle. I mean, not really anywhere to go when you get caught, but looks like same for Navi. Caught trying to flank up behind, and Glyph ends up with a triple.
Recovering it.
The B site has fallen, sure, but there's reinforcements very close by. And Hero, a plant at least secured. Dodged the reveal, but I doubt that they're too puzzled as to where he is. The utility certainly shows it off, and with 39 HP, this one should be a done deal. Glyph with the 4K to put mates not back into the lead, but back into an extended lead.
Yeah, like, Glyph he's had a bit of a quieter game so far, a little bit whiffy at times, but that was a much better round from him. Like the first kill, I was a little bit nervous, but from then onwards, it was just clean shooting all across the board, making sure that nobody could surround his teammates and even snapping back to close the round at the end. Again, a lot of depth and talent on this mates roster. And now this is where There's still plenty of credits left for NAVI. They're definitely not in any form of danger, especially every time they get to plant a few extra credits into the account, but I want to see if it's going to be as easy as that classic round to break into this site again. It is fairly low lift on B. Currently only Glyph there, but of course, he does have the potential to buy them an awful lot of time.
Concealment! Blocking vision!
Already the utility's been thrown into B. See that Martin threw his gate crash out, came in to support 4 players close by. I mean, this is the stack of the century. Mini's not even on A anymore. He's just holding down control on mid, making sure there's no late lurk up through there. And the ultimate, it's going to force them into a fight, surely. Glyph has to battle here in the open, and he stands his ground. He doesn't give them an inch without a price of blood to be paid, and my God, the exchange rate's not looking good. Sociable and Xiao, 2v4. That was a sensational round from Glyph. I wonder if he didn't have the same kind of round in the previous that he did, if he would have had that confidence. He just stopped running halfway through and went, screw it.
Yeah.
I'll fight you on the beaches.
Well, he also waited for the exact last second to make that run. They were waiting for him the entire time, but that moment later, Martin reclaiming space on the site. Sociable spotted. The deep line is all that's left from Xiao, and while he can buy a bit of time with his util, but that never would have saved the round. The fight's not going their way. Glyph being the hero. And while, even with the ultimate being invested, it ends up being a relatively easy round for Gentlemaids, mainly because of Glyph.
Yeah, because of his martyrdom. Like the fact that he just accepted his fate. Yeah, I'm not making out of here. But neither are you. Really nice stuff from him. And, well, I think for mates, it seems like the hands are firmly back on the reins.
I one-tap him, bro. IGL one-tapping. What the hell?
IGL one-tapping, indeed.
I feel like he's been one of the highest rated players in the entirety of Kickoff
so far. He's like 22 and 9.
And he's like, yeah, look, IGL. I feel like it's an excuse without an excuse anymore.
Yeah.
He's 13 and 11 on the board.
Well, Navi, 7 rounds. An economy that was stacked up not long ago, but now it's being pushed to its brink. An ult economy even being thrown at this round, and then Bippo! He stood, he waited, and he had a way out as well. An escape plan put into action, and a 5v4 into effect.
Yeah, I guess the Razor has technically given them the site. But that's about all they've gained from it. Cosmic Divide already shutting out 3 of the players. Now, Sociable can look to sit on the other side, and you're thinking maybe he can flash through. Well, he can't. He doesn't have any flashes left. So this is going to be very awkward to try and find something, unless Ruxit could go ham, and he doesn't.
Salvo?
He gets absolutely nothing.
Salvo?
Oh, I think something must have gone through to delay, because Bippo has at least let go, and there is the salvo. Will now buy them a little bit of extra time, but they're losing the fights once again. Xiao does well. They need to get somebody back onto that defusal and quick, and he may still have an extra little bit of utility to try and stop them. The spam's going through, but it doesn't even matter. It's Bippo back the other way. It's his turn to get a 4K. They're getting quite a lot of those.
Yeah, I guess it is a very, very narrow angle. We just saw it pop up there behind Gentlemate Starzo. 1,000 kills here in VCT. Congratulations, brother. He has been putting up numbers. And as I said, I think it was last week or possibly even the last map they played. One of the last few. He was 22 and 9 on a fade. I mean, seeing a guy take up the IGL mantle, we talk, oh, Mini, now that he's not IGL and he's going to be insane. And he has been. Yeah, he has been. But to see Starzo still hit that level, I think it really does go to show how much weight it takes off your shoulders, having that second caller.
After they've gone, and was it 4 rounds in a row? I like the idea, but Starzo's just watching it. You think you can get behind me? You think that's gonna work? And now Bippo just swinging it, takes them all down. This is decimation of Navi. Leaves just Xiao, 1v5. The Xiao Show has been in effect today, but this would have to be your favorite episode if he's going to win this one, and it's nothing. Bippo to make it an in-zone flawless. Mates are just destroying Navi in these last few rounds.
Oh, and they're having fun doing it as well. We've seen them on their feet, getting loud. The confidence is there. I think Glyph, he really inspired the troops with his big play a few rounds ago, because since then,
They're taking turns.
Nothing but solid individual performances across the board. Bippo especially.
Yeah.
This has been my favorite series to watch him play. And we're only 1 map in. Well, not even, but it could just be 1 round shy.
Yeah. For the other side of things, it does seem like they're just struggling. Filu's impact on the Raze. It was an interesting choice for me. We haven't seen a massive amount of Raze on this map in particular. I think Yoru, Waylay have really taken the pick. And I'll be honest, I'm yet to really see what the Razors brought to the table. A showstopper that scared his opponents into dying to sociable. But other than that, it's been a little bit rough. And then again, like, even the Sky, like it doesn't look like it's really been working out for them compositionally. But then you just look at how mates are winning a lot of these rounds. You think like, okay, well also you just kind of get an aim diff at times as well.
Yeah, you think about Martin's 3K entry into the A site in the previous half. Yeah, everything Glyph has done. I mean, the last 4 or 5 rounds as well. There's been examples of it. 5 in a row needed. Man disadvantage to start. Hero, the one you're missing. Hunter's Fury sent through. Tag found right away. Sociable holding on for dear life, and he will just about survive. But that is just another wound for NAVI to bear.
30
As the plan
seconds
comes
left.
in, they're going to be seeking an advantage, but mates are offering no opportunities. Okay, now they are. Starzo's looking for the fight. Other than that,
Sociable needing to take a risk because he's so low, but also would have given him Seekers if he could find it. These A-site retakes have been stellar from the side of mates, already forcing them back, taking their space, taking the positions they had moments ago, revealing them from above, every piece of utility having its impact, and every player falling. Only one left, Rooksing to try and save them. His aim's on point, but they're already defusing. It is a mate's streak and a mate's map. They will be 13-7, 1-0 up, and ever closer to being in that grand final.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to doubt them after what we saw them do to Giant X. We question Foot's ability starting out this year, but we may do the same about NAVI. In fact, we might have to just throw all of those questions out the window because it looks like mates are one of the big boys, the strongest competition perhaps that we have here in EMEA.